Welcome to Practical Product Management. This is our podcast where we talk about how product is done in context. It's not some magical theory and framework that you just wave a magic wand and product happens the same way everywhere. It happens in context of where you are and what you do. So this is what we talk about each time. And today's episode is our season 2 wrap up. I can't believe we're at the end of this year and this season. It is the holiday season, and we wanted to just tie a little bow on season 2, and then we're going to take a little break and come back next year with some new guests and new ideas. So, Marilyn, here's my thinking. You and I think one of our very first episodes of this podcast, we talked about things cliches we don't like about product management. And the very first one we led with was neither of us like this whole product managers are the CEO of their product. And we're both like, yes. Right? Yuck.
Mm-hmm.
I do, however, think that you and I agree on the notion that we are the CEO of our lives and our personal brand and our own joy and happiness. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you think about CEOing yourself and your life?
Yeah. And this is one that I like to discuss with people that work for me too, which always kind of surprises them for some reason.
Yeah.
You are the head of yourself as a corporation. And and you taught me this, Leah, to be clear, this is not I'm not the wise man in this, you are. But I have grasped it with both hands and fully embraced it. You have a board of directors and they sit at the table of your CEO. And there are people that are allowed on your board and people that are not allowed on your board. And the person, thanks Hobby Lobby, that gets to sit on your board is never your job.
Right. Never.
The people that are closest to you, your family, the people that care about you as a human, some of your friends, be careful, yes, can sit on this board and advise you on what choices to make. And, because they want what's best for you as a human. Yeah. But your job does not get a seat at that table ever. Yeah. You're not a family.
No, 100%. And I mean, just to be clear, I originally got this concept from Brene Brown. And that's who taught it to me years ago when we were living in Seattle. And I remember being in a position where I realized I had given the company a seat at the table. And their opinion of me was part of my identity instead of being like, hang on, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You don't get to have a seat because you're not even a person.
Yeah.
Who is at the table? Right? So yeah, I 100% agree.
And like your boss. I mean, the reason I bring this up to the people that work for me is I'm like, don't give me a seat at that table. I don't deserve a seat at that table. The person you work for should not have a seat at that table. They give you feedback as part of an annual review process that you can ingest as one view of how some people in certain contexts interact with you, but it is not a reflection of you as a human. It's just not.
No, exactly. Because I mean, we're not, as a manager of people, as a leader of people, we're not agenda free.
No, we're not agenda free.
I have an agenda for better. I can really care about my team. I can want for their best, but I also have to think about the business. I also have to think about the product. I think about the stakeholders. I am not without an agenda when it comes to the people who work on my teams. I have less of an agenda if I'm sitting at your table as my friend. Yeah. My agenda is your happiness. And you and I have had those kinds of hard conversations with one another where I'm like, listen, I need to tell you something. Right. Yeah. But that's me saying, do I still have a seat at the table? Because I have an opinion. Could I have an opinion? Yeah. And my agenda is your joy and your happiness and the respect of you as a person, as a leader. That's my agenda. Which is
who I am in this job and the next job and when I retire and when we're old and crazy. You're with me for the journey.
Yes.
And if someone's not with you for the journey, then don't give them that seat. They don't belong there.
Right. I think using you and I as an example, when we worked together, it probably didn't make sense for me to have a seat at the agenda of your job, right? At the table. I was your friend, but I also, when we were working together side by side, I had an agenda. There were things I wanted from you, right? In order for us to be successful. It doesn't make it wrong, but when we shifted our relationship, we shifted the seats at the table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think you have to. There are people that had seats at my table in the past who don't anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not,
Yeah,
they didn't do anything wrong. It's just like, okay, you now don't have a perspective on my life. So thank you for your service. Off you go. Right? Yep. Doesn't mean I don't like them, don't care about them, don't whatever, but the seats are very limited.
Yeah.
Right?
They should be limited. If you're letting too many people chime in, then it's a bad thing. I think you said something really important. And I think there's two, just because someone doesn't have a seat at your board table does not mean they're not a good friend, they're not a good colleague, and they're not out for your success. So I think there's two different things we're talking about here. The first is who gets to be at your board table and who gets to help you direct your life.
Right.
And then there's people in context in the job that you're in, because you can go to someone, just like you just said to me, hey, because your success is my success, and I want both of us to be successful and awesome, I'm going to give you some advice in this context. That is a person that's your colleague and your partner in that moment on that task.
Yep.
They don't necessarily care what's going to happen to you 20 years down the line right now.
Right. Exactly. 100%.
So yeah, I think you got to be really careful about who you let at that table and how you let that affect yourself. And it's really hard. It's really hard. And I know that this year has been sort of a rough year for a lot of people. A lot of people I know, and myself included. I know that, we do wrap a lot of our identity in what we do. And so when your role is impacted or you're asked to leave for whatever reason, I've got a very strong opinion on how companies do things like that and where the failures are when those sorts of things happen. I don't think it's at the individual level for sure. I think most of these things are management failures. It's really hard not to take that stuff personally.
Yeah. I mean, we can say, listen, I say that all the time. People are always like, oh, it's just business. It's not personal. Fuck that. These are people.
Yeah.
When we treat them a certain way, when we are treated a certain way, when we treat them as a number, when we say we care about them and then behave a different way, like, it is personal. These are humans.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, it's business. I'm not even discounting that it is also business, but it is also personal. Yeah. Right? These are humans. If you were, dealing in Autobots, fine, but you're not. You're like, these are humans, right? And I guess I wonder what makes us and maybe not us, you and me, but us as leaders, as companies, what makes us forget about them as humans, them, the team as humans? What do you think does that?
I don't know. My hypothesis, look at my body language.
It's like
so awkward. I'm gonna hunch a little bit. These are really terrible decisions, and usually when a company has to start taking action like that, they've already made so many bad decisions that it's led to almost a financial crisis.
Yes.
And that's because they did not have the hard conversations earlier. They did not have the right hard conversations earlier, and they made some bad choices.
Right.
And now they're at this point where they have to take drastic action. I don't believe most companies or people want to start here. Yeah. I'm choosing not to believe that, because that would mean there were some people out there without a lot of conscience, and that would bother me. So I think you get to this point because there's been a lack of hard conversations. We could talk about that. But I think that to some degree, once you get to this point where it's like, in order to survive, in order to be viable, we need to make some human cuts.
Yeah.
That we distance ourselves from the humanity of it. People put on a defense mechanism to be able to get through it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a quick conversation. You'll be in, you'll be out. It's 10 seconds. Here's your script. Yeah. But I think, and I get it, right? Because there's legal to adhere to, and you don't want to open yourself up to things, but we're forgetting to respect the person on the other side of that conversation. And I do wonder if there are ways, two things. I wonder if there are ways to deal with the action in a little bit more of a humane way. And I wonder if there's ways for leadership to hold themselves responsible for not having the hard conversations or being more thoughtful about their business choices upfront.
Right. And I think
I also think that, like, listen, I mean, and now I'm going to soapbox here for a second, Lisa or Leah. Man, I just called you Lisa. That's how like uptight I am.
You're the second person I know well who's called me Lisa this week.
Oh, weird. You must be giving off Lisa vibes. I'm actually like, I'm actually feeling in my chest, which is interesting. I actually think that sometimes the act of taking these actions is also a little bit, I don't want to say cowardice. That's the wrong word. But what if, rather than just looking at people as a cost center, you took a really hard freaking look at your business and decided what projects and or software and or things to cut or reduce before you look at people? And I think a lot of this is, I think the root cause of a lot of this is lack of prioritization. And I'm going to be very specific about what I mean by prioritization. It's really easy to say what your top 3 things are. I have never, ever seen a company say, and these are the 10 things that we're going to put down. Not
right.
And I've seen companies say these are the things we're not going to do, and then they continue to do them on the side. I mean, kick the servers over, shut it down, delete the Confluence pages, get rid of the code, shut it down. And I've never seen a company fully shut something down. They say this is deprioritized, but someone's still working on it.
Yeah, somewhere there's a backlog that is still getting looked at and brought forward. Yes. Like totally. Yes. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I think there is a lack of, cowardice is a strong word, but I do said another way, like it is a total lack of courage.
Yes.
Right? Which is ultimately cowardice, right? Because it's like, oh, well, we can't just be giving up things. Like I always start from, have we figured out how to optimize our current revenue? Are we making all the money we can make on this?
Yeah.
If not, what do we need to do to increase the revenue on the things we already make money on? And what does that mean? Do we need to increase prices?
Reduce costs?
Do we need to go bigger? Exactly. What do we need to do there? Then are there other products we can make money on? And what are they? And how hard are they to create? Are they ancillary to these? Are they brand new? Like, why do we think that there's a winner in there? And then what costs can we reduce?
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Because I'm telling you, I think businesses that go to their teams and say, we've got to figure out how to cut costs would be stunned how deeply they will cut in order to, if they know that what you're trying to do is make it so that you don't have to cut people will be like, we don't need coffee in the coffee machine. I'll bring my own coffee. Like they're suddenly very creative.
I worked at a place when I did a full platform audit. I found 11 messaging systems in the same organization. 11 messaging systems.
Crazy.
Let's talk about how you can save cost.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's licenses, administration. Yeah. Oh, like, ugh.
Yep. And so you start there before you ever talk about a single person.
Yeah.
Before you ever say, well, you know who we could get rid of. Okay. And quite frankly, I have more respect for organizations who say, okay, now we've done all this and it's time to talk about people. Let's start at the top.
Yeah.
Who in this leadership team could consume other people's jobs a bit? Where could we cut bonuses? Where could we all take a hit for the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Have that damn conversation.
It never seems to happen there, does it?
No.
You hear these stories of like, we cut X thousand people, but then leaders got a bigger bonus. And I don't understand that.
Because a lot of these companies, and now it's my turn to be on my soapbox, are incentivized by VCs and private equity firms to make the cuts. If you do that, we'll reward you. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
You are taking advantage of humans and then giving someone a reward for it.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I wonder when shareholder value stopped including this notion of the people that also worked in the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. Well, and I think one thing that you and I 100% agree. I think one thing you and I have talked about is when you start to squeeze that all down, and like, you don't get more creativity out of people.
No. No.
So when you're having these, like, what could our product do? Could we sell this product in another way? Is there a different market? If you've squeezed the team down and done layoffs, there isn't a creative bone in the team's body for a while. They're like, I'm just
No,
going
the
to
team's
really still
running
and hope
on
you don't see me over here getting a paycheck.
they're running on fear. They're
Yeah.
running on fear at this
Yeah.
stage.
So they're not going to raise their hand and be like, I have an idea.
No.
Oh, okay, listen, idea guy, you're out next. Thank you for your
Yeah.
idea. You know?
Well, I mean, I think that's true. And I wonder, um, because, I think that again, I'm going to go back to like, no set of humans are perfect. There are going to be times when you're taking a risk as a business. You should understand that risk and have leading and lagging indicators on whether it's going well or not. You should be able to understand the impact on the overall financial picture. But at some stage, people are going to make mistakes because we're all human, and that's what happens. And again, to go back to like the transparency and the honesty with the organization, to be like, whew, you don't want your sort of CFO to get up and be like, it's peachy, and then the next month or the next 2 months have something that really impacts workforce. I think
Right.
you want to go like, hey guys, here are the challenges we're facing as a business.
Yeah.
We are going to need to focus in these areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes if, roles and responsibilities aren't super clear, then you get what I call like the 5-year-old soccer team where everybody's swarming the ball and it's not helpful. I actually, the other month, I said, sometimes it's like a 5-year-old soccer team and everybody's swarming the ball, but then the coach keeps throwing like 2 or 3 more balls on the field. Nobody knows which ball is the ball to chase, which is the ball that's going to score, but everybody's chasing all the balls. I do think giving your organization real clarity about what are the challenges,
Yeah.
who's going to be the decision maker for those challenges,
Yeah.
organizing a team to be able to contribute to those challenges and solve them in creative ways will get you probably farther as an organization than to your point, sort of dropping the organization into a fear response. I don't have the organizational psychology background that you have, Leah, but from lived experience, I truly believe that a team and people operating from a negative fear-based position will never give you creativity. They have to heal from that in order to actually produce anything interesting.
100%. Listen, I think this goes back to some of the conversations we've had this year. Like, there isn't a framework that gets you out of this. There isn't an org model that gets you out of this. There isn't an org development plan that gets you out of this. You need clarity, you need courage, you need context, and you need to point the team at it and say,
Yep.
this is what we're going to do. Be brave.
Yeah.
Right?
And consistency. Let's add another C in there.
Another C.
You need consistency.
Yes. Every day I get up and I go to work and I don't have to be afraid because we have clarity, we have courage, we have context, and we are going to be consistent.
Yep.
I think the tricky part for that as we're talking about it, and I've had this conversation in the last few months several times. The leadership team and the organization as a whole has to have a strong spine.
Yes.
You have to have a spine. You have to have a creative spine. You have to have a technical spine. You have to have a leadership spine that says, we will not bend just because it gets hard.
Yeah.
Like, we're not just going to be like, well, that didn't work. It's been 2 weeks. Like, what? Nothing happens in 2 weeks or 2 months.
Nothing happens in 2 weeks.
Right? We gotta have some spine.
Yeah. And I think that's about understanding your revenue cycle, right? What's your business cycle?
Yes.
It's like
100%.
if you could have an idea, execute it, and get money in your bank account in 2 weeks, by all means, go, my friend.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right. Well, and I think going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, I think in order to have that forward-looking spine, one of the first things you have to do is admit the mistakes you've made.
Yes.
This was bad judgment. This was a bad decision. And it doesn't have to be like, Marilyn, you made the mistake, but we made mistakes. And what does that look like? And how do we get out of this mistake? And I think individual leaders have to say, I did that. Here's what I was thinking at the time. Here's what I know now. Here's what I would, and now that I have more information, here's what I would do differently.
Yeah. And here's how I'm going to put in guardrails so this doesn't happen again. When you were like, I don't think you have to call out individual leaders. I feel like the best leaders I know would admit.
Yes.
To your point, here's the data I had at the time. Here's the call I made.
Yeah. I think in a good leadership team, I expect in a good leadership team, if everybody's at the table and the CEO were to say, I think we've made some bad decisions. Does anybody want to point one out? That the first person I'd point out would be me. I'd be like, you know what? I probably could have done. Like, I might be looking at the room full of people and being like, that guy did that and that lady did that. And I might know what I would say. But generally, you know me. The first person I'm going to point out is me and be like, you know what? I probably could have said this sooner. I probably could have done this. I probably could have not hired this person right away. There are some things I could have held the line on. Now that I know, this is what I would have done differently.
The frustrating part of that for me, Leah, and having seen both of you do that and me do this, is the people that maybe really need to speak up, never speak up.
Never. They let you hang yourself out in front of everyone and then don't take it as a mirror to courage.
Yeah.
And that, I mean,
I think
that's
there's there's this honesty thing. Like, I really feel like that, and it's probably coupled with the helping, serving of humility and being humble. To know that as leaders, you're not infallible, but to have an honest conversation. And I think that what happens is, and a lot of times we just sort of, we don't have the honest conversation. Hey, I'm worried about this choice we're making as a leadership team. The leadership team meetings aren't effective because it's some like pre-booked agenda that doesn't actually really get at the heart of things. Have you ever left like a set of meetings and been like, oof, we never solved the hard problem?
Yeah. What was the problem? What was the point of that? I find it maddening, and I have for many years, and I'm not picking on any particular team I've been on, probably all of them at some point, where you have this weekly meeting where all these people get together and are supposed to make decisions and have hard conversations. They don't do it in that room. Instead, they all go off and have a point to point here and a point to point here and a point to point here. And you know what Tom said this, and Bob said that, and Susan said this, and you're just like, why are we not having that conversation in here?
Yeah.
And I think it's because we are still totally conflict averse.
Yep.
We're like,
we lack the courage.
That'd be so uncomfortable.
There's this person that I had worked with at MasterCard. His name is Keith Ferrazzi, and we were really lucky to have him speak at our leadership offsite in Dana Point at MasterCard. And I had him come work with my team, and he says a lot about that, saying it in the room, giving people hard feedback in the room. How do you do that in a way that like builds intimacy and trust? He's got some really sort of fun little exercises that you can do. I will tell you, I have never seen a team get to trust faster. Yeah. I have never seen a team openly talk about hard things in a room. Yeah. I've seen so many other teams I've been on in my life have been exactly what you were talking about. They didn't have the hard conversation. Everything was back channeled. They didn't, and it leads to lack of success. It leads to lack of success. Let's be super clear. Yeah. He changed my life and that team's life in fundamental ways, and it's just so simple. And it's about courage and honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that takes us back to humanity, right? Like and maybe I'm an oddball in this regard, but I fundamentally distrust people who won't say what they're thinking.
Yes.
And who hedge or don't say anything or sort of just get really silent when I speak my mind, or like, I said this week, call me an asshole. Don't walk out. Like, if you're going to pick one of those two poisons, call me an asshole.
Yeah.
Let's
You
go.
can say, listen, I need a minute. I'll be back in 3 minutes. I just need to go walk around because I can feel myself getting anxious.
Yeah. But let's have a hard conversation. What is what I mean by that? Like, tell me you don't like my approach. Tell me you don't like what I'm saying. Don't walk out.
No, because I think like we're going to get back to another piece of like my philosophy around leadership and teams. As a leader in an organization, your team is your peers. You're here to run a business in a very successful way. The people that work for you, yeah, your job is to care for them as humans, make sure that you understand where you want their career to go. You're helping them. But your job is to run this friggin' business.
Yeah.
And
it's
if you can't have those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a whole concept of first team, second team. Your first team is the team you're on, not the team you lead. They are each other's first team, right?
They should be.
Yeah. But I think often we get so like laser focused on our space in the business that we're like, this is my team and this is the most important thing. No, this is the most important thing. That's where you have eyes.
You have an expertise, and that expertise helps the business.
Yep.
But you run the business.
But that's the reason why now, whenever I interview or talk about potentially taking a role, whether it's fractional or full-time or whatever, I want to know the people on the team I'm on.
Yes. Yes.
This sounds really vain, maybe. I am not worried about building a great team. My team.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I know how to build a great team. I know how to get the best out of the team I've got or hire the people I need. I'm not worried about that. It's just not my biggest concern. Like, I will either hire them or get the best out of what I have. Like, I've always been able to figure it out. It's been harder in some places and easier in others, but I've always been able to do that. I know how to lead my team. I need to know who the people are that are going to sit at the table and be with me.
Yeah.
On the hardest days and on the best days. I need to know who's going to look me in the eye and say, you don't get to say that. Right? Yes. I need that person.
Or, hey, I understand your point of view, but you're driving us down a hole. And let me tell you what I see from my perspective.
Right.
And I think what everybody needs the humility to know is that their perspective is not right. As a collective, we can be right.
Right.
But as individuals, we're wrong.
Right. Correct.
And I don't love like top leaders that don't want to hear everything.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to hear it.
No.
They just want you to do the thing. And if you just want me to do the thing, you got the wrong person.
Yeah. That's what I'm always like. I'm not your girl. You hired. I mean, at this stage in our careers, we're basically hired for opinions.
Yes.
I don't write user stories.
Right. Or truth, right? You want me to come in and tell you the truth, which is what you're going to get. Yeah.
Right. It's like, I mean, I laugh that the CEO I work for now, sometimes I say, you want the truth? And he goes, yeah. Like he has to take this little breath of like, I know when you tell me the truth, it's not going to be great. Right. And the fact that I'm asking you means I could tell you what you want to hear. Or I could tell you the truth. What would you prefer? I could do either.
I mean, I can't. I think that's one of my flaws.
And but you know that as I say that, they know full well that I can tell you what you want to hear, and then it's going to be bullshit. Like I'm going to do it with a smile on my face because it's not true.
I can't do it. I can't. And I know that I've had situations where people just want me to tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And
not my thing.
It's physically impossible for me because I think that it ruins my credibility as a person, and I won't do it. I would rather have this not work out, which brings us to sort of like this moment that I think both of you and I are in our careers that I want to figure out how to gift to everybody. Mm-hmm. And that is, how do you get, Leah, to a point in your career where you're doing the things only because you want to?
Yeah. Yeah. I was introducing myself this week and said, I do a little fractional work. I do some coaching. I do some advisory work. I work with VCs on product due diligence. And I summed it up. I was like, I guess you could summarize it to say I only work on things I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. I now at this stage in my life, I only do what I want to do. after years of having jobs where some part of the job was like, I don't love this, but I love this, right? I love this part. So I do this to have this. Now I just do less of that part that I don't like, right?
Yeah.
And again, I think it requires the courage to say, I need this environment to be like this for me to be successful. If we can't do that, I'm not asking the whole organization to change to bend to my will. I'm saying I need us to have this kind of truth, this kind of creativity, this kind of courage. If we can't do that, I'm not right.
Yeah. How hard is that? But what a profound shift for me personally
Yes.
to be able to say, if I don't fit her, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to get up and live this life. And I wonder how many people out there, like me earlier in my career, slogged through things where they didn't necessarily fit well.
Yeah.
And just think that like, I got to have the paycheck. I got to have the job. I got to like,
Yeah.
they don't have the freedom to choose the things they love.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, when you say that, and the thought in my brain goes to the first time I was given a performance evaluation and thought, that's not true.
Mm.
The first time somebody said something about me to my face that was supposed to be a reflection of who I was, and I thought, no. It was the very first time that I thought, you can give the feedback and I will hear it, but I get to decide if it's true about who I am as a human.
Yes.
And so I either get to defend my position as to what the thing is you're saying, or I get to just say, thank you very much. I'm not taking that on board.
Yeah.
And
I disagree.
I've had people say, well, but you need to take feedback on board. I'm not suggesting that you don't listen to the feedback. I'm suggesting you decide what you actually take into your body.
Yes. And that's hard.
And if something is saying you are this way and your physical body wants to reject it, trust your body.
Yeah.
I mean, because listen, I have been called everything you can call a woman in business.
Stubborn, opinionated,
bitchy, opinionated,
aggressive,
abrasive. I mean, you need to manage your face. Like all of the things that, all of the things you can say, I have heard. The difference between me now and me 15 years ago, even maybe 10 years ago, is that I'm like, I can quickly discern what you say and go, yeah, that's true. I am that. Accurate. I am also these other things. Right? I told the same group of people I was telling you about earlier. I said, I am direct. I say what I think. I am opinionated. I can be tough. I'm not the easiest person in the world to work with, but I am also kind.
Yeah.
I am generous, and I will listen to you.
Yeah.
Those things are all true.
There's a whole person there.
There's a whole person there. And when we're giving people feedback, sometimes we're trying to pound into them who we want them to be. And people need the right to say, that's not true.
Yeah.
True.
It's funny. You're reminding me. So one of the things I really love to do with teams is do disc profiles and write user manuals and talk about strengths and attributes.
Yep.
And invariably we get to that slide about how your strengths are also your weaknesses. And you need to know in some situations that what is actually your superpower is going to be perceived as bulldozer or resistant and that is not, you are not resistant. Your superpower is that you need the details.
Yeah.
And you're thorough, and without the details, you're unable to make a decision, or you resist a decision because you want to have all the information. And people will call you, dragging your feet, not on board, like,
right.
And understanding yourself and being able to create a user manual. Here's when you communicate with me like this, here's when I do my best. When you communicate with me like this, here's what you're going to get the negative reactions. And it's not because I'm abrasive or abusive or rude. Right. It's because I'm trying to get us to a direction.
Right. We'll go back to clarity, right? I have the
Yes.
courage to seek clarity,
Yep.
right? And I will push for us to get clear, because that's
Yeah.
the only way I can lead other people is if I'm clear, then I can give clarity down. We can move that downstream. But if it
But
is,
you're visionary and you lead people and you set direction and right. So all of these things come with so many bonuses.
yeah, yeah,
And but everybody, there's not one person that
no,
should be like sitting on their white horse right now, thinking that they have no downside. You
no,
absolutely do, but they're
absolutely.
also probably predicated on your superpowers.
Right, right. And I think I think right now, just in general, we tend to reward certain behaviors and punish some behaviors, right? And I think, I think we're in an age where the machines are getting to weigh in on things that should be appropriate and what we should do and how we should do it. And it's like, hang on, humans need to human. Come on,
Yeah.
come back to the table. We're not asking ChatGPT how to human, right?
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
I,
Yeah. I mean, we have to acknowledge that most of those systems are biased.
yes,
And we need to remember that.
yeah,
And also, like, as much as I love, uh, I'm going to say technology, because I think that the two letters AI are like horrifically overused. And if I see one more person presenting themselves on LinkedIn as like an AI expert, like I'm gonna leave LinkedIn because it's just trash panda universe right now. Um, I do think that technology is useful for helping humans do more effectively, but that does not remove your need to actually ensure that it's doing the right thing.
yeah.
I like, ugh. I think that, I vibe coded or I had an idea that I put in Chat GPT and it spat out a business plan or a PRD. If I have to read one more of those things where someone just copy and pasted and the icons are still in the doc, the stupid little icons and headers,
We
like
see
I can
it,
see it.
right?
Um,
You didn't.
I'm gonna
We know you
scream.
didn't put that emoji in there yourself.
No, and you're making me read 18 pages of shit that you should have gone through first.
Right, right.
Wait, am I getting emotional again?
I mean, I had an experience recently where someone actually, rather than another leader, rather than dealing with a conflict in the team, asked ChatGPT to analyze the conflict and then
Mm.
just stuck ChatGPT's message in the thread.
Uh, how'd that go?
Really, really well, as you can imagine. And I, in giving that person some human feedback, said, that wasn't appropriate. You can't do that. And they said, why not? And I said, because you have to human.
Yeah. You can ask for advice. It's a great
Yeah,
advisor.
it's a great advisor. You can use it to make some connections. You can use it to see if it thinks like you're thinking, but you then have to human.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said, going back to what you said, one of the things I said was, in case you don't know this, I'm going to say it again. I think you should know this. AI is today inherently racist, inherently misogynist, inherently
Yes.
against cultural abnormalities, right? It has a norm that it
Yep.
defines. And we would all say, yeah, but these other things are normal. It doesn't. It has designed a normal
Yep.
and it doesn't make room for the other, right? And I said, plus, so that's true. Plus, you're the one that wrote the prompt.
Yes. Well, it's funny because I think I just saw on the information when they looked at at the different models and tried to find out what cultures they were most aligned to, what cultures they most closely aligned to. It was like Germany and the Netherlands. But like, remember, like this is not culturally appropriate in all instances
Right,
at all.
right. Like it goes back to, is it the culture code where she talks about sort of high emoting versus, she has all these kind of different, like there's different cultures that have different ways of engaging and space bubbles and words you use and what's polite and what's not. And Like there isn't a single, a single one that is like, this is how humans are. So you have to human in context, just like you have to
Yeah.
product manage in context.
What?
Right? It's like, come on. You have to, like, would you do that? I wanted to ask this person, like, do you do that at home with your wife?
Oh, please tell me no.
How does that go?
How long have
Right?
you been single?
Exactly. Do you have a girlfriend? No. Oh, interesting. But anyway, I just think, again, it requires courage to say AI is an interesting thing. Technology is important. Data is important. We need to have the courage to say those things are interesting, and we're learning and we're growing and we're going to use them, but also we're not going to let them replace our humanity.
Not yet. And when we get there, I hope I'm retired. It's funny that you say this because I think a lot of this is reflected in the business use cases that people are trying to use AI for too now. We still need to do the work to understand if the customer problem is there.
Yeah.
Is this a business problem that we want to solve? Like, is there a business wrapped around this? Should we be solving this problem? And why now?
Yeah.
And if you cannot sort of articulate those things, like why would you apply AI in that space?
Right.
It's not going to be helpful. It's not actually going to drive any results that you care about. It costs something. Let's be super clear.
Yeah.
Like it costs you something as a business, both in terms of productivity, opportunity cost, because people are working on one thing versus another. Again, let's talk about why layoffs happen. Opportunity cost.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this like radical application of AI across everything is sometimes it's done thoughtfully, and business leaders are doing it for a purpose. They understand the reason they're doing it. They understand the cost. They understand the opportunity cost. And this is where they want to go, which is cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's done without all of that because someone saw an article that said that most companies are using AI. All these other CEOs have got it right, and you're the dumbest one in the group. And oh, by the way, everybody that's dumb is going to they're going to go out of business and have no money in 5 years, or like whatever. It's all fear-based.
Totally.
And it's not thoughtful.
So it's funny, as you're saying that, something came to my mind. I think it's a little tangential, but something came to my mind. I saw something recently that said, CEO I know said something about in 12 to 30 years, you won't be driving cars, blah, 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 blah. And he was explaining why. And I almost commented, and I just changed my mind because I was like, I'm just picking a fight, because I wanted to say, some of us love driving a car.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to drive a car to commute every day? Probably not. But do I love to get in a car and drive across a landscape that I haven't heard before with the radio blasting? I don't want someone else to drive that car. I want to drive that car. Right? And so I wanted to say that. And then what I thought of was the beginning of my career. I worked in ACH and check processing. And everybody, this was 2001, 2002, everybody was like, no one's going to be writing checks in 10 years. Baby, it is 2025 and people still write checks.
Yeah.
And I used to say, like, they would say, you're not even going to have anything to do. And I'm like, there are states. My mama still writes checks for groceries. There are places.
Ask the contractors I hope I'm not behind your mom at the grocery store.
No.
Just FYI.
Amen. I buy when we go, just so you know.
Half of the contractors that come to work on things, I'm surprised at the amount of people that still want to check. Like, like I get the really thin, free 25 checks from the bank because I'm like, I don't need checks. And invariably, I am going back to get stupid checks. Like,
right. And the reason I just point this out is that I think I'm not trying to be like, oh, in our day, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not trying to, I like technology. I love to know what's going on. This is what we do. So I'm an early adopter. I love technology, right? And yet these big sweeping decisions and statements based on nonsense have been true in technology since the start, right?
I just think it's like people like needing to be the visionary. Like everybody wants to be that bearded guru that sits on top of the mountain that issues profound statements. And I just find it so frustrating. Like, ugh, it's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. Exactly. Yuck. And so I just think, like, again, we're back to humanity, clarity, courage, context, consistency. Like, what does it look like to be all those things, right? And
Yeah.
I think it takes us all the way back to joy.
I hope so. Hope and joy.
Right? I mean, listen, it's the holiday season. It's all about hope. It's all about joy. Whatever you believe, like that's why the lights are twinkly and they make us feel good, right? I
So
think,
what do you do? What do you
yeah,
do? It's funny because I have a sister that's got a pretty severe health problem. I don't
yeah,
know. Probably no one knows this and no one cares, but I have a sister that's been struggling health wise. And I was talking to her the other day and she's got 3 kids and she's always busy and she's always doing something for someone else.
yeah,
And I just said, well, what do you do that makes you happy? What do you like? What do you do? And she's like, I don't know.
yeah.
So Leah, how do you bring joy to your life?
You know, there for me, there are like, of course, I love the work. Like, I love that I have this job that is a little of this and a little of that and a little of this, and that is part of it. But there are things I do. I mean, and you know this, I am a woo woo moon worshiper. I love the moon and I love tarot and I love all of these, woo woo spiritual things that other people would be like, I'm sorry, your little logical numbers technology brain does that too. Yes, it does. I do both those things, right? And so I love to lean into the mystical, lean into the like, what is in that space, right? I love that. It brings me joy to sit out under the moon during a full moon or a new moon and be like, hello there, moon, right? I see you doing your thing. Like, I love that. I love, I love finding, like things I give a shit about and
Yeah.
figuring out how to participate. I just saw a thing the other day that was all about like, there's all these, I don't know why we have a baby cat problem in the UK and
I'll take one.
we can't find enough people to take baby cats. And I'm like, how can I help? What do I do? And so I was like, okay, I can give you money, but I'm also wondering, could I help with, could I do some messaging? Could I help with this? I want to find things I care about and dig in. I want to figure out how within my circle of family and friends and all of that, how can I make sure that the kids who need a little bit extra boost to go to college have that space to go to college? Like, those are things that brings me joy to be like, here's a little extra money for your books. Like, also buy
Yeah.
yourself a facial, or whatever. Like, like I think you should also get to have some joy,
Yes. It's not just about the book, unless you
right?
love books, which both of us do.
Which we do. I mean, it's on my list of things that I give myself freedom to buy many of, obviously. But
I do think it's beholden on us, on each of us, to make that space for the things that make your heart feel happiness.
yeah,
And like watch for those signs and then do that thing. If you're not doing a thing that makes you happy
yeah,
every single day, then what are you doing? Like
yeah,
to to be creative, to lean into work, to do the things for the kids and the house and the husband and the parents or whatever you're dealing with, because everybody's got their thing.
right.
You also have to respect and make time for you and your
Yeah,
table, to go back to like you are the CEO of
yeah,
you.com.
100%.
There must be some space for happiness.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, and it's that moment. I always think of it as like we all have those moments where suddenly it's like you can take a deeper breath and you go, "Oh, that feels good." I like
Or
how that
live outside your body,
yeah,
right? When is the last time you lost yourself in something?
yeah, 100%. Like, what is that thing that just you're just like, "Ooh." And I know you always have a ton of stuff and I'm always like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What's happening?" So,
I'm a nut.
what is your joy things? What are
I
your
mean, I love to bake. And so I love to bake, and that comes across in lots of ways. Like I had a cookbook club with friends. I don't have friends where I live right now, so I don't have a cookbook
yeah,
club. I love Great British Bake Off.
yeah,
And I do sometimes remote bake offs with some of my friends. I'll be like, all right, we're going to do this thing that Paul Hollywood put out. Like, this is the technical challenge. Go. But I've applied that to, like, there's a charity called Cake for Kids, for kids that live in foster care or are homeless that don't get cakes. And so you get this like mini challenge of like, make a mermaid cupcake, and you're like, I don't know
I
what that
love
fucking
that.
means, but you got to figure it out.
Right.
Um, And then I love animals. I don't have any right now except for those seven chickens. You can send me 7 cats. I'll take 7 cats. Um, so I'm on the board of Last Hope Canine, right? I'm trying to give back in spaces that make me happy.
Yeah.
I love to remodel houses. I'm almost done with this one, so I think I'm going to need
You're like,
another house pretty
you
soon.
need a broken house to move
I
into.
need really
Sorry,
bad.
Patrick. Sorry, Patrick. Right?
I do. I like buying the biggest disaster on the block and making it better. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be better than it was.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Right.
I'm glad you like that because I'm moving in someday.
Come on, I'll remodel your bedroom. It might have like winged lynxes on the walls, but it'll be a bedroom.
It's okay. It just needs a little kitty door for the.
Yeah. We just finished redoing the chicken coop and the chicken run for winter. So now they're like they've got their little like heating panels on and their little electric door that goes up and down, and they've got these like clear side panels so they're out of the wind, and my chickens are
Your
very
dad's
spoiled.
chickens? Is that what you're talking about?
My dad's, yeah, they're not my chickens. What am I talking about? They're my dad's chickens.
Your dad's chickens, grandpa's chickens.
And I have to bake because I have all these stupid eggs in my house. Right?
I have to make something with all these eggs.
I feel like we give away eggs like crazy.
Well, something you said just now that I think is like for me it's a little bit of vulnerability, but I'm going to say it out loud. I think going into next year, I'm not a resolution person.
Yep.
But what I would like to have going into next year is I want a group of friends around me.
Yes.
Like this is, like it's hard to not be like, hey guys, come over, let's do this. Hey, everybody.
Or someone randomly bangs on your door. It's like, hey,
do you want to come over for pizza tonight? And then Marilyn gets out the wheat. But
yes, I do. I will grind the wheat for the flour to make you.
I'm like, okay, I'll just bring wine.
Yes.
But no, I think when you have had community and you've been in places where you've had community, it can feel like a real lack, right? Yeah. And I think in those spaces where you have that lack of community, it's easy to fall into your job. Yes. And give it that space. And I don't think we should.
I don't either.
Your job should be your community. It can be people that you hang out with that you like. You can make friends at work. Hello. But you need a community outside of that.
Yeah. I think there's this notion of conscious community building where you live. Yeah. And I mean, I would like the same thing, Leah. Like I would like to know people that we don't really have friends here. I'm trying, right? We had a summer party and we had people over and it's awkward. And like tomorrow I'm having a get together for the art association that I'm part of, and it's awkward.
Yeah.
Like pre-game with a glass of wine and I'm way funnier.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's so easy to fall into like, oh, I'm really busy and I've got this and I have these people and I have these other people I need to talk to and I'm going to video call with this friend and I'm going to all true. And my online community is my community. If I didn't have my online people, I would be bereft.
Yeah.
It would be a bad situation. And yet I want a table again that people are around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because
especially this time of year.
Yes, and it keeps me from putting my identity in the work only. And it is a group of people who can say, we have you. Yep. When you are like, this is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's a job. It doesn't have to work out, and that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So it sounds like we both know what we want next year.
Yeah.
So, which is good. To do things that we enjoy. To not do things that we, yeah.
I think that is the mantra. Like, is this bringing me joy? What's Marie Kondo? I'm going to Marie Kondo my life. It's not just the stuff around me. It's like, do I enjoy working with this person? Yeah. Do I enjoy this part of what I'm doing? Where I'm choosing to give my time? You're trading your time. You're trading a piece of your life for something. Is it worth it?
You know me well enough to know how much I hate Post-it notes on my desk.
I know.
I have one Post-it note on my desk, and it is the same Post-it note all the time. And it literally says, how do I want my life to feel?
Yes, I love it.
That's it. Like, I'm not worried about how do I want, like, yes, I need to make money. Yes, I need this. Yes, I need that. Sure. But every decision has to be run through the matrix of will that make my life feel right and good and happy
Yes.
and joyful? Will I feel better or worse if I do this or that?
Yeah. Will I feel better or worse?
Yeah. And how do I want my life to feel?
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, that's the labyrinth it has to go through to say, no, that's not the right job. Yes, that's the right person to have in my life. No, yes, if it's, sometimes you go down a road and go, oh no, that's not
Yeah.
it.
And that's
So,
okay. There's actually a whole book on that. There's funny when we worked back at Amazon, there was a book I used to buy everybody that came to work for me. And it was by Seth Godin. It was called The Dip. And it talks about what is the difference between a dip and a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And it is okay when you walk into a cul-de-sac to be like, whoops, and turn around and go out. It's just like navigating a road. You don't keep driving down the cul-de-sac because there's a freaking house there. You
Right.
turn around and you go do something else, and it's okay. No, just recognize when it's a cul-de-sac and when it's a dip and it's a true learning experience.
Right.
Anyways, meow, meow, meow. I know,
love it.
I know that we're wrapping up, but can I just tell you, like, thank you. You bring me joy, and spending time with you brings me joy. And you have always just been a constant source of friendship in my life. And so for everybody listening, like, find your people and find your joy and bake cookies and send me some pictures of it. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I feel the same. Like, I know that if I send out the flag of, oh God, I need help. Talk to me. I need this, or I'm lonely, or this is funny to me. Is it funny to you? I know you're going to be on the other end of that always.
100%.
Right. And you need people in your life who don't leave you hanging and who will say, whew, I got a lot going on, but let's talk. Right. Like, there's a lot going on. But yes, I'm here. Let's talk about what's going on with you. And you always answer. And that's been so critical in my life over the years. So I appreciate it. And I love that we do this so that we can do this.
That's why we do it. It brings me joy.
Yeah, we podcast for us. If you guys like it, that's.
I'm still convinced nobody listens, and I'm all right with that because it really is just for us.
Yes, exactly. So I look forward to season 3. Enjoy your holidays. And if you're listening to this, have a great holiday season. Go listen to some old episodes in your free time if you want to. Otherwise, we'll see you next year with some more cool topics. Awesome. Bye. Happy New Year.
Bye.